Chapter 4. Victor surveyed the variety of meats and fish beneath the chilled glass. He bit his bottom lip as he attempted to do the math. Michael had told him that there would likely be around 12 people attending his graduation party later that evening. Victor had been charged as the backyard grill master and aimed to provide 2 protein options. A grey-haired, rotund man waddled toward Victor from the other side of the counter. "Can I help you, sir?" the man asked. Despite the frigid temperature, he was flushed with a patina of sweat covering his face. "Yeah, I need salmon and steak," Victor announced. "I'm grilling for a party of 12, and I need to make sure I have enough." "Well, I can definitely help with that." The large man shifted his stance and placed his fat hands atop the counter to brace himself for the discussion. "Is everybody getting salmon and steak?" he asked. Victor scratched his beard while grinning. "Nah, either or," he responded. "Uh-huh." The large man grabbed a notepad from his apron's pocket, along with a short red pencil that was in desperate need of sharpening. "How are you grilling the salmon?" Victor reached into his cart and pulled out the 3 cedar planks that he had picked up nearby and briefly held them up. "You're gonna need more planks, buddy. Don't want to crowd the salmon." Victor nodded. "How many do you think I need?" The large man sighed and looked at the ceiling for a moment. 12 people, meat or fish. If I were you, I'd get enough of both for 7 people. So, you're looking at about 4 pounds of fresh salmon, skin on, cut into 6 to 8 ounce portions. Center cut, right? "Sure." "Grab 3 or 4 more planks to be safe." Alexander approached Victor and the cart with 1 cereal box in each hand and a third under one of his spindly arms. Without a word, he tossed the boxes in the cart. "Really?" Victor pressed. "What?" Alexander asked. "I agreed to pay for the party, not your junk food." Alexander hugged Victor from the side. "I'll share with you." He grinned at his big brother in an overly obvious attempt to manipulate him. Victor exchanged glances with the large man behind the counter before redirecting his attention back to Alexander. "Fine, whatever." He grabbed one of the cedar planks out of the cart and held it up for his brother to see. "These are in aisle 3. Go grab 4 more." Alexander saluted and walked away. "Sorry about that," Victor sighed. The large man behind the counter laughed. "I have a younger brother who mooches off of me too." Victor's face cracked. "Oh yeah?" "Yeah, there's one in every family." The large man cleared his throat and put the dull pencil back to paper. "Okay, now that we've got the salmon squared away, are you thinking ribeye or what?" "I'm not sure," Victor considered. "It's up to you, man. We got New York strip and sirloin too. All of them are great on the grill, but I'd pick ribeye if it were me. High marbling and very forgiving if you don't have a lot of experience on the grill." Victor cleared his throat. "I know what I'm doing on the grill. It's just that I'm pretty sure most of the guests will be in their early 20s, college kids. And he was a competitive swimmer, which probably means most of his friends are on the team or run in the same general crowd." The large man's mouth slightly hung open. "Uh-huh," he prompted. "They're all probably watching their weight and trying to stay fit. So I'm just thinking ribeye might be too fatty for them." Victor blinked to a stop. "I'm just thinking the likelihood of the men's presumed fitness level will incline them to lean more toward the meat option, only to be curbed by the fat content in the ribeye." The large man smirked. "What? Are you some kind of detective or something?" Victor chuckled. "Of narcotics, actually." The large man erupted with laughter. "Jesus Christ, I hope you don't work undercover." Victor's face began to hurt from the smiling. The large man swung one of his short, pink arms. "Nope, sorry. I should be more professional and respectful." He cleared his throat loudly to interrupt Victor's protest. "Here's what we're gonna do, Detective. We switch to New York strip. Much leaner, still great on the grill. A little less forgiving than the ribeye, but you seem like the kind of guy who won't have trouble. And what did we say earlier about the salmon? 4 pounds, right?" "Right," Victor confirmed. "That's enough for 8-ounce servings. If you're as good as I hope you are about detecting shit, God knows you need to make up for your non-existent undercover skills. If you're right about your brother's friends, we don't need that much salmon. Let's knock that down to 2 pounds, or 4 servings. And we go with 5 pounds of the New York strip. Now, that's 10 servings with a total amount of servings being 14. That gives us 2 servings as a buffer and a ratio that heavily favors the meat over the fish." Victor took a moment to take in the large man's explanation. "Professional? You're a savant, man. Damn." The large man smiled. "Well, thank you, Detective. I just realized that I didn't account for my uncle, myself, and my 2 brothers. Fuck, man. I'm sorry." The large man shrugged. "Frankly, I'm a little concerned about how lopsided we are in favor of the New York strip. How about we stack another pound of salmon on there? That's 6 servings of salmon and 10 servings of the New York strip. We add you, your uncle, and your brothers, and that's 16 with no room for error." "I think I can handle the pressure." Victor gave a thumbs up. "When you think about shrimp as a side, Detective, everybody loves shrimp. I think it would complement both options. We could add 3 pounds of shrimp. It'd act as a side or an option for those who don't want a whole meal. It'd give more breathing room for you, and shrimp is high in protein, low in fat, which sounds like what you're aiming for." Victor nodded. "That sounds perfect," he concurred. "Thanks. You've been very helpful." "Any sauce for the shrimp?" "Oh, yeah, definitely," Victor said. 3 cups ought to do it." "I trust your judgment," Victor affirmed. "Just doing my job," the large man replied. "It'll take me a few minutes to get everything in order." Alexander dropped 3 cedar planks in the cart and saluted his older brother again. "I think Cassius's grill uses charcoal." "It does. I'm going to cook the salmon on the cedar planks. The salmon absorbs the flavor." Alexander arched an eyebrow. "You want it to taste like wood?" "Seriously?" "What?" "The cedar flavor is absorbed." "And cedar is wood, right?" "Well, yeah," Victor began. "So you want it to taste like wood?" "It's a good taste," Alexander chuckled. "Wood tastes good, huh?" "Really? You're 27, Alexander." "Yeah, you remind me, like every time you see me, bro." "That's because it's evident you forget." Alexander chuckled again. "I'm sorry, but it's just kind of funny that both of my brothers love the taste of wood." "Jesus Christ," Victor sighed. The large man dropped 3 paper-wrapped packages on the counter. "Good luck with the party, Detective." "Thanks again," Victor replied. He grabbed his packages and placed them in the cart and began navigating toward the checkout as Alexander followed. "Damn, bro, lighten up. It was a joke. You look like when I asked you if you were juicing in front of Cassius again." Victor shot a glare at his brother as he swiped his card and snapped away the receipt that the machine spit out. "None of that shit tonight." He handed Alexander a bag and grabbed the others. Alexander followed his brother out into the crisp air. "None of what?" He forced himself to match Victor's pace. "You know what." He tossed the bags into the back of his car and slammed his door shut after getting seated. Alexander buckled his seatbelt and placed his bag on his lap. "We've been tiptoeing around it for like a decade now. He and Jack have been." Alexander held up his hands and made air quotes. "Roommates for 2 years now." He rolled his eyes and turned his focus from Victor's grimace to the scenery that was sliding by as they exited the parking lot.
Frankly, I'm a little insulted that he hasn't come out to us.
Alexander crossed his arms.
You're really going to make it about you?
Victor asked.
Us,
Alexander reiterated.
And you're probably the reason why.
Victor's attention snapped to the right.
Fuck you,
he spat.
Okay, Republican.
Victor let out a short laugh.
Seriously, you come off real old school. Always have.
Victor turned at a stop sign, and they passed the tire factory. The familiar, strange smell from the factory briefly filled the car before vanishing.
He's our brother. Hopefully, he knows we'd love him no matter what.
Alexander let out a goofy moan.
You love us,
he exclaimed. Without dividing his attention from the road, Victor put his right hand's erect middle finger in his brother's face. Alexander laughed.
Can't take it back now,
he declared.
Seriously, though, don't push him on it, or Jack. He'll say something when he's ready to say something. Tonight is his night, and we're all going to be.
Victor paused as he searched for the right word.
Nice,
he finished.
No bickering, no prodding jokes, no sarcasm. Got it? That's how we communicate, though. That can't be healthy,
Victor muttered. The plastic bag in Alexander's hands crinkled as they squeezed.
Oh, I gotta show you a book I found this morning while I was looking for Dad's suit. It's huge. It's like the size of my laptop.
He formed a large rectangle with his hands.
And remember phone books? It's like that thick.
Victor glanced at his brother with an arched eyebrow. And you want to show me it? Why?
Because it's weird as fuck. It has pages sewn into it with a blank leather cover. Everything's handwritten. I couldn't read a lot of it. It was written in, like, Old English, you know?
No.
It's written like how they talk in The Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
I think it's a family heirloom or something. There were names of guys with cross last names and a bunch of dates.
Victor nodded as he checked the rearview mirror before switching lanes.
Interesting,
he muttered.
Yeah,
Alexander trailed off.
It felt like it was mine, he concluded. And when I found it, it was like I had been looking for it. It felt good in my hands. Like it's heavy and the weight felt, I don't know, it felt good to hold it. Like the weight.
Alexander, Victor interrupted.
What's up?
He responded. Were you high? Alexander shifted in his seat.
It's not about that. This book is...
God damn it. I told you if you ever did that shit again, I'd take you to the fucking jail myself.
I'm sober now.
Were you during the graduation? Alexander briefly gave the question some thought.
Yeah, it was half a mushroom chocolate bar. It only lasted for a few hours, I think.
You're doing psychedelics now? Alexander stifled a laugh.
Can you not do the brother-dad thing? I am 27, if you don't recall.
Cute.
Don't I get any points for being honest with you?
What about the other half? Victor asked.
What?
You said you had half of a mushroom chocolate bar, right?
Yeah.
Do you still have the other half? Victor pried.
Yeah.
You're going to hand it over when we get there.
But...
Stop, Victor interrupted. You know what I do for a living. It's a slap in the face that you get high. Alexander shifted in his seat and bit his bottom lip.
I don't think I've ever been as pissed off than the time I bailed you out.
For the 100th time, I'm sorry. I promise I haven't been high behind the wheel or even outside of the house since then.
Why can't you just get your shit together? Get a fucking car, maybe. A job, for fuck's sake.
Calm down. I haven't hurt anyone. I won't hurt anyone.
What?
Victor spat. Alexander shifted and looked at the passing houses. What does that fucking mean, Alexander?
That's why you get so mad about it.
What? Alexander bit his bottom lip again as he tried to think of a way around the landmines that surrounded him.
You know what? We should both just calm down. We're almost home. Michael and Jack are probably there by now. Today is Michael's day, right? We shouldn't bring negative vibes before the party starts.
Victor blinked away tears.
Fine,
he muttered.
But you're going to hand that shit over as soon as we get there. Okay,
Alexander agreed. A few minutes of silence later, Victor rolled into the driveway of the Victorian-style Cross Manor. The taillights of Cassius's car ignited, and Victor veered to the side and behind Jack's car before stopping. He looked out his window. Cassius's car rolled back and next to Victor's before stopping. Its passenger side window rolled down, and Victor responded by doing the same with his driver's side window.
I forgot something at the office. I need to run back there really quick,
Cassius shouted.
Okay.
Victor gave a thumbs up.
I bet he forgot his laptop's charger again,
Alexander said.
Does he do that a lot? Occasionally.
Victor watched in his rearview mirror as Cassius backed out of the driveway. Just as the car slid into the street and turned, he saw a bright light flicker from behind the windshield. He watched closely as Cassius drove away.
What?
Alexander asked. Victor hesitated.
I'm not sure. What is it? I thought I saw his cabin light go on or something. Has he been having trouble with his car?
Alexander shrugged.
He hasn't mentioned anything to me.
Victor turned off his car and stepped out into the rapidly chilling air of the waning May day. He grabbed the bags from his back seat and began walking toward the manor's entrance as Alexander followed. Light shone from the ajar front door.
He didn't close the door,
Victor mumbled.